Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, here with Hannibal. And this is episode number 7. We've done the first 6 episodes, so if you're new here, definitely go check those out. And yeah, this is why didn't Hannibal attack Rome? Because like last episode, he had this like awesome like trap he sprung on them, like he had basically his army like up in the mountains and had him like, and when the Rome's army was kind of like going along the lake, they just attacked him and this big huge surprise attack out of nowhere, and it was a disaster for Rome. It was a massacre, huge. They lost so many men, basically lost pretty much everybody, at least most of them, pretty much everybody though. And yeah, and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot. I guess, there's been one little army between him and Rome, so I'm not sure why. I'm sure they're going to explain to me. I'm sure. I mean, just like any other city, I guess back in those times, I'm not sure how it is, but how Rome is. I just know there's a lot of towns that have walls around it, and I guess I'm not sure how like defensive. I've seen a couple of people say in the comments that Rome does have some defenses and it's not that easy just to march in. I'm not sure. Obviously they're going to tell me why right now. I mean, that might not be the reason why. There might be some other reasons behind why he didn't go there. We're going to find out. So yeah, this is gonna be really cool. And oh yeah. A few of you were very adamant saying there's the next episode of Caesar has come out, and I really appreciate you guys letting me know. I will get to that, but I will get to that after this series. Once I get started on a series, I don't want to interrupt it. I want to keep going, and then we kind of do our catching up after a series is done. So, if maybe they'll release another episode of Caesar by the time I finish this one. But anyways, we'll definitely get to that. We'll definitely get to that. It'll be after this series. So, this is how we do it here, because you get on a roll and you don't want to get sidetracked. You want to do the whole all Hannibal straight through. And when we get to the end of it, we'll catch up and get to the next Caesar episode, because I'm sure that's going to be amazing too. But right now, we're just concentrating on Hannibal, because Hannibal is awesome. And yeah. So what else we got to talk about here, guys? I think that's it. I said, man, this Hannibal series, man, it's been awesome, dude. Like, I'm loving, like, Hannibal just seems, obviously he's just very smart and very strategic. And so it's been really a joy to kind of watch him at work pretty much here. And, he's basically been outsmarting the Romans, at least at least in Italy. I mean, you can't really blame him for what happened with Rome stealing his ships a couple episodes ago. But anyways, we're not going to get into that. But that was pretty funny. Pretty sad. But anyway, yeah, please hit that like and subscribe, guys. If you're new here, please and thank you. And yeah, like, subscribe, and I guess we'll get to it. Part 7 of the Second Punic War. Just a reminder, I've already done the First Punic War, so definitely check that out if you haven't. And this is History March, and I'm loving their content so far. I mean, this is the first series only the first series I've done from History March, but I love how they do things. So definitely a shout out to them. They're really awesome. Definitely check their channel out. But anyways, 3, 2, 1, bam.
So far, we have followed Hannibal on his warpath from Iberia, through Gaul, across the Alps, and all the way into central Italy.
That's true. I forgot that. Like, he started like way over here. That's a long way to go, man. Over the Alps. Woo.
He defeated the Roman legions time after time, and after just 7 months of campaigning in Italy, he stood only 130 kilometers from the capital.
Wow.
The road to Rome was open, less than 10 days' march away. But Hannibal's next move is a subject of much debate, and in this video, we want to discuss the decisions he made after his victory at Lake Trasimene.
Yes.
But first, a big shout out for our friends over at CuriosityStream, the world's first streaming service that addresses our lifelong history about 500 years of castle building technology, and much more. After being the first 7 months of Hannibal Barca's campaign in Italy were nothing short of spectacular. Despite nearly half of his army perishing in the Alps, he led his tired troops and defeated the Romans at Ticinus and Trebia. This won him the support of Gallic tribes in Cisalpine Gaul, many of whom joined the Carthaginian general.
Nice.
The march continued south towards central Italy, through the Apennine Mountains and the Arno River swampland.
Yep.
The 4 days it took to cross the swamps were particularly costly. Many of his men drowned, while others died from exhaustion. Hannibal himself lost sight in one eye due to infection.
Yeah, I forgot.
A great number of pack animals and horses were also lost, which caused a severe problem for his campaign plans. While he managed to patch up his baggage train,
I mean, like, 'cause, yeah, he went through the same sacrifices too. Obviously, not the same, but he had to go through those marshlands too. I'm sure he was on an elephant. He's the leader, so it's a little bit more comfortable for him. But the elements still ate him up. And he lost an eye. Like, man, he's the leader, and you have to stay focused on the task at hand, and your eye goes out. I mean, that's had to be pretty tough, man. But man, I couldn't imagine going through swampland, man. Like, I've been through swamps, and and just the insects, and I guess I'm not sure what the weather was like back then, but I know, and the heat of summer going through a swamp, man, like the bugs, man, it can be horrible. So definitely props to those troops for making it out of there. Anyways,
problem for his campaign plans. While he managed to patch up his baggage train by confiscating pack animals from Etruscan farmers, horses were far less common and needed to be trained for war. This left Hannibal's cavalry contingent greatly weakened for the upcoming battle against Flaminius. Yet, despite this setback, the elusive Carthaginian general remained hidden from the Romans after emerging from the swamp. Flaminius missed the opportunity to attack Hannibal's weakened army. And just days later, the Roman consul would perish in the defeat at Lake Trasimene.
Awesome.
Hannibal re-equipped his light infantry with weapons and armor.
Yeah, and plus, also, if you're new here, definitely check out the previous episode I did where they showed that battle. That's amazing. That's probably one of the best, as far as being flanked or massacres. Man, that was just genius. And basically everything that had to go into that to plan that out was just pretty awesome. So definitely check that one out, because you won't be disappointed in how cool that battle was. But anyway, so it really wasn't much of a battle, because Hannibal kicked butt, but it was the way he did it.
Hannibal re-equipped his light infantry with weapons and armor taken from fallen Roman soldiers, and vast quantities of supplies were captured, such as food, canteens, clothing, boots, blankets, tents, saddles, bridles, and fodder. But, most importantly, 4,000 pack animals and 2,000 cavalry horses were captured from Flaminius' army at Trasimene, and another 4,000 horses in Mahabal's ambush of Servilius' cavalry contingent. Hannibal was now able to replace the horses he lost in the swamps, bringing his own cavalry contingent back to full strength.
Wow.
After 7 months of campaigning in Italy, Hannibal dominated the Romans in the field. Between the battles of Ticinus, Trebia, Trasimene, and the ambush of Servilius' cavalry, Hannibal eliminated over 50,000 Roman soldiers, a number equal to 10 legions.
Wow.
Now that Fabius Maximus was elected dictator, Hannibal was encamped just 130 kilometers from the city of Rome. No army stood in his way, and he could have marched on the capital in less than 10 days. Yet, he decided not to. Let's try to examine why.
Yes, please.
In warfare, Tactical objectives and strategic objectives need to be connected in some form. Tactics refers to methods that an army employs in order to win battles. Strategy deals with broad objectives that a warring country has, as well as the means necessary to achieve these objectives. Without strategy, battles are disconnected individual events. Without tactics, any strategy falls apart. In the Second Punic War, Rome's strategic objectives were to keep the territories it won in the First Punic War, and perhaps seize parts of Iberia. Carthage, on the other hand, sought to retain dominance over Iberia and its valuable silver mines, and win back Sicily, Sardinia, and Corsica that were lost in the First War, along with other minor islands in the Mediterranean. This would enable Carthage to regain its dominance on the sea.
Okay.
Rome correctly understood Carthage's objectives and moved to prevent them. Of the 11 legions that were in the field at the time of Hannibal's arrival in Italy, 2 were stationed in Sicily, 2 in Sardinia, and 2 were sent to Iberia, while 1 remained in Tarentum. 4 legions were left in Italy to deal with Hannibal. At the time of the battle at Lake Trasimene, 2 legions were commanded by Flaminius, which were destroyed. The other 2 were commanded by Servilius, which were rendered useless after the destruction of their cavalry, forcing Servilius to return north to fight an ongoing battle with the marauding Gauls. With the appointment of Fabius Maximus, Rome did authorize the formation of 2 new legions for the defense of the city, an annual practice that became regular as of 217 BC. But these legions likely were not fully trained, and perhaps weren't at full strength either. Hannibal had a clear advantage in the field. Furthermore, he could rely on the 70 Carthaginian ships that roamed the waters of the Etruscan coast, only 120 kilometers from Hannibal's position.
Damn.
Why did Carthage send these ships so far into Roman waters? 70 ships was over 60% of their entire fleet.
Wow.
Since they were not carrying reinforcements nor supplies for the army in Italy, their presence near Rome itself, at the same time when Hannibal was also so close to the capital, suggests that a possible land-sea operation was planned to take the city.
I was gonna say, I'm sure Rome has to have a lot of money or gold and all that stuff. March on Rome, take as much plunder as you can, stack up, before any other Roman army can get to you, and just load it up all in the ships and bring it back home. Just take as much as you can, and I guess kind of destroy Rome as much as you can, kind of weaken it. I don't know. Yeah, it seems definitely a logical plan, as they're saying. So I'm not sure why they didn't.
The 70 Carthaginian warships would prevent Roman transport ships from ferrying troops from Sardinia to the capital, while Hannibal attacks the city. The fact that supports this is the positioning of the Roman fleet. Of the 220 ships in the fleet, 10 were at Ariminium on the Adriatic coast. 150 were protecting the waters of Sicily, and another 30 were stationed in Iberia to support the Scipio brothers. Therefore, only around 30 warships were protecting the capital. With 70 ships, Carthage had a clear naval advantage for any immediate operations against the city, and on land, Hannibal was virtually at the gates, unopposed. To move on the capital after Trasimene would have made tactical and strategic sense. An attack, a siege, or even a feint would have forced the Romans to withdraw troops from other theatres to protect the city. This would have exposed Sicily, Sardinia, or Iberia to Carthaginian attacks. At the same time, Hannibal could lift the siege to deal with any approaching armies. This failure to create a link between the strategic and tactical objectives perhaps played a decisive role in the outcome of the war. Hannibal himself later acknowledged that this was a missed opportunity, but he never explained his decisions. 2 main reasons for not attacking the Roman capital were suggested by historians. First, that Hannibal did not have enough troops to besiege the city due to its size and its garrison. This doesn't sufficiently explain why Hannibal decided not to attack. Namely, during the times of the Republic, the population of the city of Rome was between 450,000 and 500,000 people. The entire population lived in an area of just 13.5 square kilometers. The city was surrounded by the 11-kilometer-long Servian Wall, a stone barrier that's 10 meters high in some places. There were 5 main gates on major roads leading into the city. 10-meter-deep defensive trenches were dug up in front of the walls, where the city faced open fields. These defenses should not have posed a formidable obstacle to Carthaginian engineering abilities, nor was the city too big to be besieged by Hannibal's army of around 50,000 troops. In addition, even if the city's garrison of 2 legions were battle-ready, 10,000 troops manning the walls and multiple gates would not have posed a strong enough threat to deter an attack.
Right?
The second suggestion is that a naval blockade was not possible because the Roman fleet would keep the supply lines open along the River Tiber. This would have been true had Ostia been big enough to be Rome's main port at the time, but it didn't become a major port for another 250 years until Emperor Claudius expanded it. At the time of the Second Punic War, the majority of seaborne supplies for the capital came through the port of Puteoli, over 190 kilometers down the coast, and were then transported to the city overland. Hannibal could have cut off these supplies by blocking the roads. At least for some time, a naval blockade of Rome would not be needed, and the Carthaginian ships could focus on preventing transports from bringing in reinforcements from Sardinia. So, why did Hannibal, one of history's greatest risk-takers, choose not to attempt to take the city, while he was, arguably, at his strongest, and Rome was at its weakest? One possibility that is often suggested by historians is that Hannibal's view of war was influenced by Hellenistic thinking. He was certainly an admirer of Pyrrhus of Epirus. Namely, Hannibal's view was that maybe the total destruction of the enemy was not needed to win the war. Instead, battles would be fought until the leadership of one side conceded defeat once they realized that they could no longer win on the field of battle, and stood to lose more if they continued fighting. Therefore, he may have assumed...
I'm sorry, I guess I'll let them finish their thoughts here.
And stood to lose more if they continued fighting. Therefore, he may have assumed that Rome would seek terms once the many contests of armies had been decided. If Hannibal did indeed hold this conventional Hellenistic viewpoint, he may have thought that an attack on Rome would have been more costly than fighting battles in the open. But the Roman view of war was straightforward: destroy or be destroyed. Rome would not accept any form of defeat, no matter the cost. They would rather fight to the last man than have an enemy assert their dominance by imposing conditions on its citizens. Perhaps Hannibal still didn't fully understand this in 217 BC. Whatever the case, Fabius began defensive preparations in Rome, while, unbeknownst to him, Hannibal turned east, towards the Adriatic coast. A game of cat and mouse between the two commanders is about to begin.
Wow.
In this video, we provided plausible reasons, based on our research, as to why Hannibal didn't attack Rome after Lake Trasimene. We'd certainly like to know what your thoughts are, so if you have any theories of your own, let us know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. Credit goes to our awesome patrons for supporting our work.
After Trasimene, a plan of some kind involving the Roman capital certainly existed. The only question is, what was the plan and why wasn't it carried out? Up to half of eligible Roman men were under arms in 217 BC. Some 240,000, 120,000 would go on to die in combat from disease and shipwrecks and other accidents. Before the Scipio brothers invaded Spain, Carthaginian manpower pool and resources were greater than that of the Roman Republic, yet the Romans matched their enemy on a strategic level. Wow. I don't know. It's so mind blowing to me anyway. It's like, why not? And I'm sorry. It's like it's disappointing too because I would have loved to see what would happen if he took Rome. Like, because his for because I guess because he could get in the walls. And then obviously Rome probably would have pulled like all the rest of their army to take back their home. And they probably would have had to siege it with Hannibal's men inside. Probably would have already had the city, and that would have been something like really awesome to hear about and see. So, oh, because you're going for Hannibal, it's just disappointing, man. I know, like those of you who are like big, you know, Roman history buffs are like, how can you be against Rome? It's not that I'm against. I'm not. I don't have a side on any of this. As far as who would I want to win. But I just think it would have been interesting to see Hannibal take Rome, and then Rome come to take Rome back over, and just to see how that would play out. That's what I'm disappointed in, just to see, because it would have been awesome to see how that would have played out. That would have been really cool to see. So, oh man, and I honestly don't know why he wouldn't. I guess like they said, maybe he's like, I'll just continue to beat these armies on their lands until they give up. But like they said, Rome was never going to give up, and so I guess he just didn't know that. You kind of like maybe he thought just like the way they kind of made terms, they thought maybe Rome would make terms, but that wasn't going to be the case. I don't know. You guys need to let me know in the comments below why you think he didn't. Uh, uh, go to Rome because oh man, don't you guys want to see it? Wouldn't you guys want to see how that would have played out? Because I thought that would be pretty awesome, if it did. But other than that, I really don't have anything else to say on the matter. Because man, because if he goes on Rome, then I guess the other guys, the guys he's going to fight right now, they would have had to turn on Rome, and then he could maybe go ahead and beat them in Rome while he has like a strategic, you know, on whatever point he's in the walls and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm just like thinking, like trying to think of another reason for why he wouldn't, but I can't come out with nothing. But wow, because yeah, Rome has the walls. And so there's like about 500,000 people, but most of those probably women and children, so that's not going to pose much of a threat. And like the army down there, they're all going to be a bunch of new people against like hardened veterans of Hannibal. So uh, I don't think even that's a big wall that they would have had to have manned. And like they said, Carthage. It's not like they have some engineering. It's not like they don't. So they would have been able to find a way to get into Rome. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's just a thing in history that's just not written down. I know that a lot of this is really written down and all that stuff. Maybe there's just something that just got misplaced in history where that was the reason. We just don't know it because it was just something that was just lost to history that we just don't know about. I don't know. I don't know. It'd be kind of really interesting to have like a Hannibal diary or journal or whatever you want to call it. That'd be really cool. But anyways, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button on this video. Another awesome video. And what are we on to next, guys? Run part A, Battle of Ager Fellners. I'm not sure what that is. And I've also heard, I shouldn't be looking ahead here. I think it's Cannae. I think it's Cannae. A couple of you were like really looking forward to a battle. I think it started with a C. I don't remember what it said, but and so I was like, so I guess there's. I'm guessing that was from a big battle. I guess down the line there's a big battle coming up, which would make sense anyway because you need in a big war like this you're gonna need a decisive battle. But we're not there. We're not there yet. We're still moving along. I'm not sure what next episode. I'm sure we're just gonna have Hannibal over attacking the other leader. That's that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I try to come up with some reason of why he would do certain things, but I really don't know. I try to figure it out myself, but it just doesn't work out that way. Anyways, guys, yes, like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys are awesome. Catch you guys in future videos, but we will get to that Caesar video after this series. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in future videos. Always a blast. Have a good night, good day, and all that good stuff.